Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas! And with the holidays, I bring to you a very special video. It's more speedruns! Wait, don't leave yet, there's a twist. I'm speedrunning your suggestions. A few weeks ago, I made a community post asking for your suggestions on speedruns you wanted to see me do. So, let's get into your ideas. Oh, and subscribe if you like the video. So, the first one is from Sasha Dandy, who said I should do sleep percent, which I'm assuming means to go into the sleep animation as quickly as possible. So, let's try it. And done with a time of 0 hours, 0 minutes, and 0 seconds. Okay, maybe including cutscenes is a bit unfair, so let's try to sleep after the gameplay starts. And done with a time of 0 hours, 0 minutes, and alright, on to the next one. This one comes from Bear's Boy, which reads, Super Bear Adventure, but you can't touch grass. Kinda reads more like a challenge than a speedrun, but that's fine with me. So, our quest to become a Discord mod is cut short at the time when we, start the game. Yeah, we can't even start the game without touching grass. Alright, on to the next. Nah, I'm just kidding. I actually do like this idea, and it reminds me of one of my scrapped videos, so I'll make a special rule for it. If I touch grass via a cutscene, it will not count. So every time I spawn on grass because of a cutscene, I just have to jump immediately. With this rule set in place, we can pretty easily get out of the tutorial and move on to Turtle Town, which soon becomes an issue as I make my way over to Dr. Christopher. These switches only have a little bit of room to walk on, so you have to be pretty precise here. Also, there's an annoying bee that can hit you while you're doing the switches, so we get rid of him as quick as possible. After that, we can quickly jump across the platforms to get to the switches. The rest of Turtle Town is pretty easy. There are some scary dives for Bob and Madeline that if we mess up we lose the challenge, but we can get all the bears that we would get in 80% here. But unfortunately, I can't say the same for our next stage, Snow Valley. Also, for content, or the sake of the challenge, I will be counting ground snow as grass. Besides, the snow probably has grass under it anyways. So, after you get the first bear in the 80% route, Vladimir, you go down a completely different way compared to the normal route. You have to climb up this very small rope where the ski lift is located, and if you fall here, you most likely lose the challenge. And after we get up here, we have to fall back down to get Skia and Alex. And then we climb back up again to use this jump pad to save Rudolph. So, while editing this video, I realized you can just go from the bottom and climb up to get Skia and Alex, and then you only have to climb up once to get Flake and Rudolph, so you should do that if you try this challenge. And with that, we've gotten 5 out of 8 bears in Snow Valley. Although the astute viewer may have realized that this is 1 less than the amount you get in 80%. That's because John is impossible to get without stepping on the snow right here. So, we're gonna have to save another bear somewhere else. Alright, on to the next stage, Bee Mothip Desert. Also, for the sake of the challenge, let's just assume that the sand has grass under it, so we can't touch it either. This stage is pretty easy though. We can just use the quad bike to travel anywhere we want, and save all the bears we would normally save in 80%. But, don't forget, we still do need an extra bear, so let's see if we can get it here. Well, for starters, trying to save Ramses isn't going to work, because once we get out of the cave section to get up to the bear, we can't go anywhere without touching the sand. So that only leaves the boss to fight here. But the boss is kinda slow, and this is still a speedrun after all, so let's see if we can get another bear on the next stage. And the next stage we are going to is Giant House. Also, for the sake of the challenge, let's assume that the wood has grass right under it, so we can't touch that. Right at the start of the stage, there's a scary jump to this ledge where you can barely stand on and do a belly stomp to get up from. After that, everything's normal for a little, and we're able to save 3 bears. But now we have to go upstairs, and the only way to reasonably do that is through the cannon. So first we have to make it to the handle of the refrigerator, where we can just barely make it to the cannon so we can shoot ourselves up and get 2 more bears. And that would normally be the end of 80%, but we still have 1 more bear to save. And we can get that final bear by going into the sewer and saving Blossom. And now we move on to our final stage, the Hive. Which is basically normal because you're inside of the hive for most of the time, and even the 2 parts where you're outside, the grass is very easily avoidable. So, yeah, I guess that's kind of anticlimactic. But with that, all we have to do is fight the final boss, and we have beaten the challenge. Wait, how am I supposed to talk to Queen Bee to finish my run? And that's the end of the run with a time of 15 minutes and 21 seconds. Alright, this bit isn't funny anymore. I need a category that's both possible and not 0 seconds long. Okay, so we do have one from Mario DZ21N, and they say I should do... Man, why is this so small? I can barely read it. Oh. Okay, stop. Let's just do one that seems cool. Okay, 500 coins in arcade percent. Not the most graceful name, but it does get the point across well, so let's do it. Our goal is to get 500 coins in the arcade, if you couldn't tell by the name. So what is the fastest way to get coins in the arcade? Well, first we need to talk about coin rates. The three modes here are race, platform parkour, and spinning rods. Now, platform parkour doesn't have a proper coin rate because it's entirely dependent on how fast you go and how many mistakes you're making as a player, so let's rule this one out. But for the racing and spinning rod minigames, there are ways to calculate this. Let's say for the classic race, you average around 25 seconds per race. When you get that time, you get 14 coins. So if you stayed consistent the entire time, you would have to go around the course 36 times to get 500 coins, which would take you about 15 minutes. So what about the other ones? Well, for desert, if you get 15 seconds, you get 8 coins, and for tubes, if you get 34 seconds, you're able to collect 21. And with all that said, the fastest way to get coins reliably in the arcade is by doing the looping race, which if everything goes well should take us about 13 minutes to complete. So let's get to it. And there you have it. We got 500 coins in 14 minutes and 28 seconds. Or 14 minutes and 30 seconds if you want to end time using pausing like tutorial percent does. You might be wondering why this time is so far off of our 13 minute, or more accurately 12 minute and 39 second estimate that I set for myself previously. Well, the answer for this is actually quite simple. The arcade is locked until you free 6 bears, so before entering the arcade we went to Turtle Village and freed 6 bears, which took 2 minutes, which lines up perfectly with the time that we got. With that out of the way, this means we're done the run, right? Well, do you remember what I said earlier? Now, platform parkour doesn't have a proper coin rate because it's entirely dependent on how fast you go and how many mistakes you're making as a player, so let's rule this one out. What if we do just go fast and make no mistakes? Will it be faster than a looping race? Well, it turns out that not only is it faster, but it absolutely demolishes the time I got for the race. And I even made a strat that may or may not be faster than just doing the parkour normally. You see, as you go along in the parkour, you start to get more and more coins until you're getting 2 coins on every platform. However, this does come with an issue. Jumps start getting more difficult. They're further spaced out and take more time to actually perform without dying. This means as you go, you'll start getting less and less coins from having to make these jumps. So this is the solution I did. Around 250 coins, start playing really risky. Start doing jumps you think will barely make it, and even start doing jumps you think aren't gonna make it at all. Just be fast. And as soon as you make a mistake and start falling, hit the return to Bear Village option on the menu, and then click stay here. This will make it so that you return to the start of the parkour without having to take the long fall. After this, you'll just have to do the parkour again until you get to 500 coins. It doesn't take too long to get back to 2 coins per jump, so I think this is faster. And with this method, I was able to get 500 coins in 9 minutes and 33 seconds. And with that, I think we're actually done here. So let's move on to the next run. Over the years, since it's been out, I have been asked to do one speedrun in my comments repeatedly, and I haven't paid much attention to it until now. Backrooms %. For this speedrun, I need to escape the backrooms as quickly as possible, after purposely trapping ourselves in them. If you don't already know, when you enter the backrooms, your spawn is random, so I spent some time studying the area, trying to see where the best place to spawn would be so I can exit out as quickly as possible. After this, I started doing runs, and within a few tries, I had this run where I failed to get into the back rooms at first, but once I got in, I got the perfect spawn and I ended up completing the run in 39 seconds. That's pretty nice, but I know I can do better, so I kept on going until I got another amazing spawn. I rushed to the exit and managed to escape the back rooms in 25 seconds. Unlike the last run I did, I entered the back rooms perfectly, so this is probably the best time I'm gonna get for this one. And that's about it. The reason I hadn't done this one in the past is because of how short it is, but I have finally done a run of it, so there's that. So there's the Christmas special coming out in March. But tell me in the comments if you want to see me do this type of video again, or if it was lame. And subscribe. Okay, bye bye.